What is going on? Good morning. Well, good afternoon, I should say, grinders. Well, good morning if you're on the West Coast, I should say. This is another FanDuel Friday show brought to you by FanDuel via Rotogrinders. And we're here to break down the slate that we have today. It's a big one, it's a nice doozy one. And I go by Drizzy26, Andre Alford, and DFS Streets Drizzy26, Andre Alford, though. And I'm here with my main man, TJ Zwarych. So how are you doing today, TJ?
Doing well. These FanDuel Friday shows are my favorite shows to do just because we get to shoot the shit, talk through our process, and really get into like the ground floor of how we play DFS. So I really like these shows, and I'm ready to get into it.
Yes, definitely. And see, I got my voice back. I know, well, the stuffiness is probably not gonna go away for a while because I know I'm congested. Probably not surgery in my face, but as you see, I'm doing things a little bit different today. I'm gonna have I kind of already started my poll earlier this morning, and they kind of crossed over from different internet providers as far so from Google Chrome, since that's what I use here. And I use typically Safari, so it's over here. But we're gonna break it down. We're gonna also go through the excluded pictures if there's some that we're interested in today. But we will definitely try to give you guys all the plays out that we like today and break down the slate for you. So without further ado, let's start with pitching. Uh, TJ, is there some pitchers that you're targeting today that you like a lot?
So today is quite a bit different than Thursday night because Thursday night there were two guys that Aaron Nola and Jacob DeGrom, and I really had no interest in playing anyone else. And DeGrom did pretty solid. Nola was fantastic. Today's different because we have a bunch of different pitchers that I'm willing to play today. We just have a wide range of guys who could be the top overall pitcher. Obviously, we have Garrett Cole up top. He's got the highest projection there. If we got the Bad X projections up now, and you can see that Garrett Cole is the only pitcher projected over 40 fantasy points today, and he's at 45.66. So Garrett Cole's going to be the top option on the board. He's the one that we're going to be playing in cash games. But as you can see, Garrett Cole has a tendency of getting lit up every now and then. He's got a great matchup today against Oakland. But if as we look through his game log, like we can see, this isn't the Garrett Cole of a few years ago. The strikeout upside's still there, but he does have a tendency of getting hit around a little bit now as well. So we can start looking at some of these other options because we do have a lot of high upside options today. Now, since Cole is picking up quite a bit of ownership today, I think we can look at guys like Chris Bassett. But I'm going to roll through the full list of guys that are in my list that I've pared down right now. And it's Cole, Musgrove, Bassett, Bieber, Strider, Gilbert, McCullers, Peralta, Otto, Falter, and Minor. Now, the first set of players I'm probably going to be Xing out Glenn Otto, Lance McCullers, Logan Gilbert. I don't think I really want to get to those guys. Um, but the one that interests me the most is going to be Freddie Peralta playing. He's coming back from injury. He's facing this high strikeout Chicago Cubs team. Um, and he got up to 6 innings last game. We don't know if he's still going to have the same crazy high strikeout stuff that he had in the past. He hasn't shown that yet. 2 strikeouts, 4 strikeouts, 3 strikeouts, 5 strikeouts. But we know what this guy has done in the past, and I'm willing to take a few shots on Freddie Peralta because with so many strong pitchers out there today, we need to target ones that we know have ceilings.
And I completely agree with you. And especially when you got a guy like Garrett Cole in the player pool that you got to worry about going off. And like you said, he hasn't looked the same ever since. Honestly, I think it was that pine tar issue that they had a couple years ago for the pitchers. He really hasn't looked like his old self. So I guess maybe he was using that a little bit. Don't want to accuse him of it, but especially because he's a Yankee. But past is the past. Moving forward, I like Garrett Cole a lot today, but as you can see, We're using actually my pool today, and this is who I like a lot today. Um, I got Bailey Fulcher in here just because he's going against Pittsburgh, and the price point is just so cheap on him. He can allow me to get upside with bats, but I do like the Freddie Peralta call a lot. That call, he's going to be probably the lowest owned pitchers, one of the lower owned pitchers, and the cost is only 8.8K. And like you said, the strikeout upside that he has, I think is really high there. So I don't mind taking some shots on him as well. I also do like a guy like Spencer Strider. Like he's a very like to be a dark horse guy that can I would not mind playing a good amount of today or being at least double the field on just because he's a good strikeout pitcher. And when he played against Philly last time, he had 12 strikeouts. I know we don't I don't like to try to look at the past, but 12 strikeouts in 6 innings and only allowed 2 hits and no earned runs. That's amazing. And put up 58 fantasy points, and he's about $1,000 less than Garrett Cole. So that's someone I definitely would love to have today. So I definitely consider him one of my favorite dark horse pitchers to look at today for upside. And I like Shane Bieber always. He's not obviously the same Shane Bieber as old, but that's a guy that I will don't mind taking a few shots against. Going against Seattle today in that matchup.
Yep, I'm with you there, and I like the Bieber. I like the Bieber call. Pardon me. I like the Bieber call. I like the Strider call. Bailey Falter is somebody that we touched on a little bit, but if we're looking to pay down, Bailey Falter is probably the guy we're looking to go for today. He's a left-hander against Baltimore. Against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh sucks against left-handed pitching. Um, and he's shown some high strikeout upside at times this year as well. So if we're paying down, I think Bailey Falter is the one we're looking at. Freddie Peralta in the mid range, like quite a bit. Garrett Cole's obviously the top option, but Bassett, Bieber, Strider, Musgrove, you can play all of them as well.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, we have, like you said, Musgrove. I personally crossed him off on my list against KC, just because he's 5'8" today. I don't think he has the upside of the guys that are below him in price. So that's why I personally don't think he's on my list. I think the guys below my price, like Strider, Bassett, probably could get just as much as Musgrove, if not more. So that's the reason why even in this match against KC, which they're obviously a young team now. But they have some hitters on there that can knock it out the park. So I don't. But if you want to take some shots at him, you can for sure. Lance McCullers as well, going against Baltimore, who has been playing really, really great baseball lately. I can't wait to look for the future of Baltimore and see the upside that they present today. But I think that's pretty much it for me at pitching. What about yourself?
Yeah, and that's going to be it for me as well. The only thing I'd say is like somebody like Musgrove is definitely not someone I'd target in single entry or in three entry max. If you're running 150 though, I think you keep him in the pool simply because you can get double the field on Joe Musgrove by playing him in 4 lineups. Like you don't have to play a lot of Joe Musgrove, and so just on the off chance he hits a ceiling game, he is one of the top pitchers available. Not so much for strikeouts, but just for real life. And so if he happens to put up a real life, really great game, he could be the top guy, and you don't. It's not going to be difficult to get over the field.
Yes, definitely. And now we'll move on to the bats here, and then we'll recap a little bit of the pitchers and everything as a whole. So obviously we have a lot of teams on this slate today. What is your strategy typically going to be like today, or on a slate this big today?
Well, for the millionth day in a row, we have the Philadelphia Phillies mega chalk. Kyle Schwarber, 3,300, still wildly underpriced. Reese Hoskins, 3,400, still underpriced. JT Realmuto is starting to get priced up. And the difference with today's Philly chalk is we have Bryce Harper projected to be back in the lineup today. So all of a sudden, you got Nick Castellanos creeping up in price a little bit. Bryson Stott's not as crazy cheap as he was. Probably isn't going to get quite as good of a lineup position with Bryce Harper back. And so this Philly team gets more powerful, scarier, but also not quite as easy to just stack like crazy. So Philly is still the top team on the board for me. They are going to be the highest owned team. However, I'm not really worried about that because the ownership's not that crazy, especially if I'm not playing Garrett Cole. If I'm playing Garrett Cole in this lineup, I don't know if I'm going to be stacking the Phillies because of the ownership. But if I'm not playing Garrett Cole, I'm not worried about it. My next tier of stacks is really on a slate this big, where there's a lot of good pitching, there's a lot of average pitching. All my favorite teams are really just the best teams. Like I'm not really trying to look around to I'm not really looking to mess around with some teams that are in okay spots like Washington or like Tampa, like Boston, like Texas. I want Philly, I want the Padres, I want the Mets, I want the Astros, I want the Blue Jays. Those are my like that's my top five stacks today. I'm okay with some White Sox, a little Boston, a little New York and Atlanta, but my top five stacks on the board are going to be Philly, the Padres, the Mets, Houston, and Toronto.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely don't mind that for sure today. Like today's to me it's a 4-3 day, a 4-2. If you want to get some 3-3s, I don't mind that just because you want to make sure you get some of that pitching in there as far as with the price point. If you want to get like Garrett Cole and get some good bats in there that you have to pay up for. So I don't mind that today as well. My teams, Philly obviously by far is probably the best team on the slate, but after that, I feel like it's a pretty even feel. Like I like New York today. I like Boston, Tampa, the Mets, Toronto. It's a lot of good teams. I think they have potential to be uh, the top stack of the night. So I definitely don't mind taking shots at those teams, as well as a team like Houston. Other teams, I would. There's some other teams on here. I just would target primarily as secondary stacks. That would be like more so teams like Arizona, Washington, who I think is another good spot personally. Um, I don't mind getting some. Even though I know don't mind getting a little bit of Atlanta, just a tiny bit as a secondary stack. But Baltimore as well, since possibly because I know McCullers is not like likely get blown up, but they just been playing so well. So if you're like already like 150, I don't mind taking some shots on them as well. But I think you got to sort of take a little bit of stance on some teams here, and try to get your pool as low as small as you can, if not just focus and concentrate on certain stacks that you really love and like today.
Yep, I'm with you there. And I think one of the ones that stand out to me as just like really high upside that aren't going to pick up as much ownership as Philly, as the Mets, as the White Sox, and Boston is the Padres today. The Padres have a very strong lineup against Chris Bubich, and Bubich is decent sometimes, but we've also seen him get lit up, and we're currently projecting Will Myers at 2,400 on FanDuel to be leading off against the lefty. And so I love Will Myers as a home run call, as a salary saver today. And this whole Padres team I like quite a bit. Soto in the lefty is probably going to go under owned. Manny Machado, Brandon Drury, Josh Bell, even all the way up there to Kim. So the Padres are a team I really like in tournaments. And the other one I think I'd be looking to get to in bunches in tournaments is going to be Houston. They're not picking up a lot. They're not looking early on like they're going to be picking up a lot of ownership. And Houston has a ton of power, a ton of upside. Bregman's just been absolutely smashing lately. He's just been on a tear. Yordan Alvarez is fantastic. Tucker, Altuve. And my favorite tournament play on just nearly every single slate is Trey Mancini. Like he hasn't got priced up since arriving to Houston. I think probably because of his lineup position, but he had just wild numbers early on in Baltimore since they pushed those fences back. About he had something just like double-digit home runs that would have been home runs in 28 or 29 of the other parks, but they weren't in Baltimore. He gets traded to Houston, and now all of a sudden he's just hitting home run after home run after home run. And so if I'm stacking Houston, I always make sure to include Trey Mancini in there.
Yeah, and that would be a revenge spot for him. I know he's looking forward to playing his own team against a guy like Bradish, who is not that great of a pitcher. I love the Houston Call. They're definitely one of my favorite teams for sure. I don't mind definitely taking some shots at those guys a lot in tournaments today. I also don't mind like going against a guy like I don't know why like these Cleveland teams stands out to me. I know Gilbert is a decent pitcher, but like just the guys that they have like Rosario, Ramirez, Naylor, Quan. I think they can get enough hits, get on base enough where they can run up the score a little bit here. So, but I will also be targeting a lot of the hot weather games that we have too on this slate. So I'll be paying attention to that. Usually, what we have here, which is the weather ends just by that Roth has here today. And if by just by looking at that, it looks like Philly is in a great spot today. Washington as well, or in the Cincinnati game, Boston, and Tampa Bay, the Mets. Uh, these are good spots for like mostly home runs and have the total runs be higher than expected. Then you got obviously a little bit of Chicago there too as well. And everyone else is pretty much not that in a great spots for us because of weather. But better for pitching or pitching today. So I definitely don't mind those and taking shots at the targeting those teams a lot more. But like I said, using a lot of these teams as secondary plays, I don't mind too as well. Like if you see my pool right here, I have it broken down we have where I have some guys the teams that I like and break it down with the players that I like, whether they're good one offs or also good teams that you can use as mini stacks like Baltimore 1, 2, 3. I got four guys here for Baltimore. These are my top four guys I like to go if I want to do a 4-man stack. But I also don't mind doing a one off for them individually if possible, because I like them a little bit today. Same thing with Boston. I got a full stack pretty much there with almost every guy in the lineup, I think, except for one guy. I think he was in the ninth hole I took out today. But other than that, I try to typically break my pool down and keep the full team in there that I love a lot. But I will try to trim it down, especially on a big slate like today, because I want to get as much of those good hitters as I possibly can in my lineups.
And if you have this up on the YouTube page, make sure you hit the like button. And you're going to be wanting to stay tuned to our YouTube page all day today because we got Grinders live later. And then with Roth on Crunch Time, if you check his weather report, we do have this Tampa Bay and Boston game at orange. He says, as of now, this looks like an ugly game, but be mindful that the exact timing of these storms lines can waffle a bit. So we'll want to look at the latest pre-lock. I think there's a rain delay of some sort in this game, and that definitely includes a possible postponement. And so this is one that we're going to have to keep an eye on because they're going to be the spots of storms, and we're going to have to make sure we just listen to what he's got to say on crunch time. So make sure you stay tuned for that, and in the meantime, make sure you hit the like button for us as well.
Yes, definitely for sure. Yeah, and I'm gonna be heading out to Boston a little bit for the DK Live final to cover it. So tune into that also this weekend too. Dropping in with Drizzy is going to be taking over the DK Live final, covering it this week and cover all the activities. So why you should want to enter these live final contests, even though I know they're pricey sometimes, but I'll show you the experience and how much is worth it. So tune in for that. It'll be covering on Twitter and on Rotogrinders Instagram page as well. I'll be going live and I'll be giving away some RG gear and some swag. So pay attention, and maybe also a free couple months of RG subscriptions too as well. So pay attention to that for sure. And before we get out of here, want to see like TJ, what are your home run calls? Give me three guys that you'd love today to hit a home run.
So let's go keep the train running with Trey Mancini. I just absolutely love this guy now that he's outside of Baltimore. Um, Before I give my second two, I'm curious. I know you're coming to Chicago as well to cover the FanDuel Live final. You scouted out any tattoo parlors yet?
I actually have not had time. I've been since I've had a voice. I had to been resting. So because my fiance would not let me do anything. So I'm gonna
That's
try.
fair. That's a good fiance. I appreciate that.
So I'm gonna be trying my best to make sure I look for some because we gotta we gotta make sure we get you that tattoo. You got the design already?
For the most part, I got I got what I want and where I want it. I just got to like kind of grab a local artist here to style it out for me, stencil it out.
Yeah, because that's the one thing. Because I know, like me, having all these tattoos. Some artists like to draw it themselves and have it done. But most artists, if you give them something, they can have that done in a few minutes for you and get you tattooed up within an hour. So I look forward to it. I'm gonna look up some of that are in the area and see what we can find. Because I don't want you to go to just anyone old tattoo artist because
Yeah, that'd be scary. It's my first one.
exactly. You want a good experience. You want to get someone that's going to take care of you, and do well with the art because that's why I think tattoos are art in my opinion, especially when they go on your body forever. So we will definitely look up for that and also make sure we get the money from Kurt.
Yeah,
Cover.
exactly. I'm gonna get a second one while I'm there too. I'm gonna get my wedding ring tattooed right there
Oh,
since I've already lost
see,
it.
see, I'm doing the same thing. Me and my fiance already discussed that we're gonna do that instead of getting we'll have wedding rings, but I'm not gonna have one wearing for the most part. So I like.
Yeah, I got a little cheap one and I just get claustrophobic with it on, and I just figured the tattoo is gonna be the way to go for me. But or not Spidey Bomb because we're not on a live show, but home run call number 2 today. Teoscar Hernandez, I think, is going to hit a bomb today for the Blue Jays. I loved taking Teoscar anytime he is pitching or hitting against the left-handed pitcher. And I think the last one I am going to roll with today is, when was the last time? Last game and the game before that. Mike Trout's going to hit another home run today. He's going to make it back to back to back.
I was thinking about that going with him today, but I decided not to because I got a couple guys that I do like as well too. I like you guys. Bryce Harper in his first game back is going to knock one out the park. I'm just going to call it now to get that out the way. I also do like Brandon Lau, even going against Walker today. If I think that game will play because Boston has a habit of just delaying the game and then playing late. So I like Brandon Lau to go yard today as well. And then another guy I like today. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Because I like Baltimore and I think that I don't know if they're gonna win the game, but I do like the way they've been playing lately. I'm gonna go with the switch hitter Anthony Santander against McCullers to knock 1 yard too as well. So just a couple of sneaky little old guys that I think can hit one out the park today. And I guess before we get out of here, let's just go over an overview of pretty much today's slate of the pitching. Pitching, we pretty much pitching. We like. I like personally Garrett Cole. I also don't mind taking a shot at Freddie Peralta, with Bassett and Strider, but Strider's probably gonna be my favorite low owned pitcher to go well over on. And for stack wise, I like uh, I like Toronto, like New York. I like what was the other team? Houston, Boston, and Phillies. What about yourself?
Yeah, so I think the only thing ownership wise today you really have to be conscious of is Garrett Cole with pairing them with the Phillies. I think that's going to be the only chalky lineup build today. And so Cole is the top pitcher on the board, but I definitely don't mind pivoting off of him and getting different in tournaments. Bassett, Bieber, and Strider would be my favorite ones to do that with up top. My favorite mid-range guy is Freddie Peralta, and my favorite person down low is going to be Bailey Falter. I'm willing to take some shots there as well. The Phillies are my top stack, but they're also going to be very high owned. My next tier is the San Diego Padres, the Mets, the Astros, and the Blue Jays. My favorite 4 tournaments are going to be the Padres, the Astros, and the Blue Jays. And then some sneaky teams that I don't mind getting to as well: the Yankees, the Reds, and Texas.
Yes, I love those calls today, especially that Texas call. I think the Texas call is very, really, really sneaky a lot today. So, but yeah, but that's it for today's show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys took something from it as far as strategy wise and could apply it. Try something a little bit different with breaking down the user my player pool as far as who I have as far as at 12:33 in the afternoon here of what I'm looking at today. I'll probably break it down maybe a little bit more. But yeah, this is it today for the FanDuel Friday show. I am Andre Alford, go by Drizzy26. underscore DFS on Twitter, or you can find me at Jersey26 on Instagram. If you have any questions, feel free to inbox me. And here's TJ Zwarych. Goes by, what do you go by on? Is it TJ underscore Zwarych?
Yeah, TJ underscore Zwarych5. My FanDuel screen name, if you ever see me up top, is TJ and Jim, because I started playing DFS when I was 18, and my dad gave me money to do it. My dad's Jim, so there it is. It was a fun little activity.
Perfect. So yeah, so I'm Andre. This is TJ, and good luck today. And I'll see you today on Grinders Live. Have a good one.